Before we begin, the hosts of this podcast would like to address the breaking news of the day, which had not yet occurred at the time of taping. There are some events in our collective human history that are so shocking and so devastating, they say you never forget where you were when they happened. Pearl Harbor, the tearing down of the Berlin Wall, when JFK was shot. And today, we add an event to the list. Tom and Luann have filed for divorce, page 6 reports. Information is still trickling in, but what we do know is that a source reports, quote, Tom loved the nurse from Connecticut, not the reality TV star. Other sources report not knowing Luann was ever a nurse. All Danielle and I ask for is space and grace during this difficult period. We are all processing in our own ways, and this will take time. While we are not shocked, we are all Americans. May we now take a brief moment of silence, be you in your car, on the train, or at the gym. Please join us in remembering what was. That's enough. To Lou and Tommy, 2015-ish to 2017. We'll see you in our dreams and at the Regency. Thank you. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Casey Wilson.
I'm Danielle Schneider. Welcome to Bitch Sesh.
We're in the Nook. We're guestless.
Yeah, just the two of us. We missed you last week. You were very missed. Anna and Matt were a dream, but you were missed.
They're a dream team.
Yeah.
They really are.
But
April's out this week.
I know.
How dare she take a vacation?
2 weeks in a row. Who does she think she is?
Really?
Truly, though, she's been on like 6 vacations in the last year, and I have been on 0. It's not great.
Not a great look for you to complain that about your assistant's vacations. I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying she doesn't.
She deserves every day.
Oh, she sure does.
Ian is filling in.
Yes, who's also a dream and watches The Real Housewives, which is a pleasure to watch too.
Gorgeous straight man.
Mm-hmm.
And
married
friend.
with child, and he loves The Housewives.
He watched and weighed in quite a bit. He's a big Carol fan.
Yeah, last week I was like, hey, are you going to watch with us? He's like, I've already watched. Like, he couldn't contain, like, we watched like an hour after the episode, and he was like, I couldn't wait. Like, he literally, like, had to get his eyes on the episode before any of us.
I love it.
And then, like, still was, like, peering in and watching again, like a double viewing, which I was impressed.
Well, I was like, we're going to get to New York, but I was almost embarrassed watching with a man because of what happened tonight.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed for the female species.
Yeah, it was tough on a lot of levels.
Just what was going on with these women.
So Sonja was, I mean, again, we will get into this, but it was embarrassing to watch. It was like kind of, and not that you're my dad, Ian, but it was like, like when I used to like watch making out scenes with my dad, like I remember watching Beverly Hills 90210 and my dad would walk in and I was always like, what is that thing they're doing on the screen? I've never seen it before in real life. Like when it was like a sex scene or something, it was just like, I don't know what's happening.
Guys, before we start, now Danielle and I have recommended here and there movies, TV, things that have spoken to us, and there's something that had screamed at us.
Screamed louder than anything ever has, and I was happy to be screamed
I'm electrified. Guys, liked it even more than Wonder Woman. And you know how much I loved Wonder Woman. Saw it twice, was obsessed.
Yeah, well, again, both times without Danielle.
I didn't invite Danielle either time. Now this, Danielle was invited to.
I was invited. I think I was on the first chain of the email, which is exciting.
You made
for
the
me.
first cut.
I made the first cut. I wasn't a backup plan, and that was nice.
Guys, run to Girls Trip.
Oh, you guys, it is the funniest movie I have seen in
forever.
Ages. And the only reason I don't even want to compare it to Bridesmaids because they're both female movies and like female friendship movies, but they were both my favorite movies of the last few years. And they happen to be these big comedies, but they're just really well
Starring
done.
all women,
but hilarious, emotional. I related. I laughed my ass off.
Guys, I was screaming, laughing. It is outrageous.
The whole theater was screaming.
And don't try to say to yourself, I'll just get it on Netflix or I'll get it on iTunes later. You march your ass to the theaters. Get what I got, which is a thing of Bunch of Crunch, a thing of Red Vines, and popcorn.
Casey said to me, hey, Danielle, can you order me some Bunch of Crunch? And I said, no, I can't, Casey, because I can't say that and not be ashamed.
I had to whisper it to her. I said, get me some Bunch of Crunch.
I almost threw up.
Guys?
That was the worst. How do you order bunch? And not the, I ordered trash, but just to say bunch of crunch.
It's not great. It's not great. So I'm at a place in my pregnancy and in my life where I really struggle with the movie theater. Like when those lights go down, it's like all hell breaks loose. Like I order an amount that is so shocking.
I had a Sprite.
You love a hot dog in a movie.
Yes, I did not get it because I had one earlier in the day, sadly enough, like of my own volition. Like in my house had a hot dog.
See, I'm a Goobers person, but the theater we went to in LA... So I had to turn to Bunch of Crunch.
An embarrassment for everybody.
Normally I just get like a red vines and a popcorn, but something, I knew it was girls trip. I knew what we were headed into, and I need a Bunch of Crunch and red vine and popcorn.
I got an entire bag of movie theater Reese's, which I polished off almost the entire bag, a thing of popcorn and a Sprite. I was buzzing from like...
I think I've told this, but you've been very generous about my one rule at the theater.
Yes, which you will not share. And Casey is like hands off. Even if she's just like, don't look at me, don't touch my food. You at the theater, you're a generous person, but you do not want to share your
here's the thing, Danielle.
Popcorn.
Thank you for saying generous, because I have a rule that I've just had, and it's the only time in my life I feel like I've ever laid a boundary.
No,
I say to whoever I'm with, listen, I want to talk to you.
He pulled me aside.
I said this to my Shira, my sister-in-law, before, like right when I had first met her, we went to see a movie, and she said she went home and was like musing in her head, like, is Casey a bad person? I was like, listen, here's the thing. I like to have my snacks for them to be my own in the theater.
Yes.
This does not exist outside of the theater.
No, it doesn't.
I will buy you whatever you want. If you think you want one red vine, I say, let me buy you the whole package. But that's how much I don't want you trying to sneak in on mine, because people are always like, oh, I'll just have one. And then they get handsy in the theater when the lights go down. And I know that. I'm willing to buy you 10 bags of red vines, but don't come for mine.
And I didn't touch them. I did my own.
Now, cool up. And June, I've realized, like, sometimes it's later in the showing, maybe I get a little generous. I will give what I have, but I want to make that decision.
You don't want to be asked. You want to, as it's what Oprah says, like the power of no. I've been listening to that lately. And she's just like, I'm going to choose to give you because I want to, not because, sorry, the mic fell, not because you want it.
It's on my terms.
Yes.
And again, I will get you 30 of whatever you want. I want you to have it too. Mm-hmm. I just don't want you to have mine or think that things are going to change once we get in there.
No, I didn't even ask you for one red vine, even though I was like, I could use a red vine.
And that's the thing. It strikes people, middle of the theater, and they're like, what's one red vine? But when you only get 15, I think it's 15, you want every one.
I didn't even ask, Casey. I sat on every
I reached across and handed June 2 at the end. No, I'm sorry, I didn't hand you any.
No, well, you didn't know I wanted it.
But I knew you had...
I was satiated. I had enough.
June didn't have anything.
No, so and I passed her some of my... Reese's Pieces.
Right. Mm-hmm. And she loves red wine. So I was like, I'm going to hand her these two because I think I'm going into sugar shock. Mm-hmm. And I handed them to her and she looked at me like, wow.
Wow, like, how is this happening?
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe she thought they were yours. I was just like handing them over.
You were passing them over?
Yeah. All that is to say, none of that is important because the movie we saw is better than any bags of Bunch of Crunch.
No, better than any 15 red vines that anyone could ever dream of.
Guys, it's so fucking funny. And I laughed out loud. I screamed with laughter.
I laughed harder than I've laughed at anything in so long. It's so many times. It wasn't just one scene. Like, I just laughed constantly and hard.
It's unrelenting, and I mean that at the best possible compliment. Like, this is just to give you an idea. Like, and I know you're thinking, oh, is this like base, gross out?
No.
It is
at points
in the most elevated way. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, does a man show his private parts and slam them up against a glass wall early on?
In a way that is surprising and shocking and needed and wanted.
Yes, a dirty old homeless man. Yes. And when that happened, I was like, oh, we're in for something very different here. Like, this is an outrageous comedy.
Is there a scene where not one but two women piss all over a crowd of people with like a fire hose worth amount of piss? Yes, but it is needed and it is wanted.
It's so good. Now, I have always, from way back when, I'm a huge Queen Latifah fan. I love the Queen.
Oh my God,
she's my queen. I love her so much. I find her so likable, so warm, so wonderful whenever I see her in anything, and she is gold in this. And of course, I love Jada. Mm-hmm. But when I tell you, there is a performance in this, and it's being heralded. We're not alone, certainly, because the movie's doing so well, but there's a performance by a comedian, the likes of which Lucille Ball, should be feeling worried.
Yes, and as we know, in our magazine, Closer Magazine, she probably is, and it'll be on the cover next week. That Lucille Ball
From the grave
is worried about
Tiffany Haddish. Wow. There's a scene of her, and we're not going to spoil it, with a grapefruit that I want them to roll at the Oscars when they call her name.
Yes.
It's so good. She's so funny. I truly, tears coming down my face laughing at her.
But also she has a moment of such simple grace and beauty and emotion that is sweet and quiet and subtle, and it made me tear up with emotion because I have felt those things, and you feel that this character and this actress feels this thing at this moment, that just the range of this comedian is brilliant.
Unparalleled. She does a speech at the end. She got a full applause break.
Yeah.
She's so good. It was a Melissa McCarthy moment, only in that, like, I remember walking away from Bridesmaids and just being like, oh, a star is born.
Oh, completely.
And as with Melissa, Tiffany, has been around and been in some things, but like she's popping off in a way that is so refreshing and spirited. And I'm just like, I couldn't even sleep after I saw it.
No, me too. I went down a wormhole. I'm like on her Instagram constantly.
Oh, I'm watching her appearances on Fallon.
Oh, yes. I need to be close to her.
How do we get to her?
I don't know, but I need to like wrap my arms around her, and I need her to wrap hers around me, and I just need to be a part of her world.
If you want joy in your life, go and see Girls Trip, please.
In the theater. Do not wait. Go see it with friends. Go see it alone. Go see it with your
husband.
And
go soon, because a packed theater, it truly is a treat.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yes, because you feel the theater was laughing. It was so...
And I do feel like in these troubled times, someone's just given us some good old-fashioned fucking comedy.
Yes.
Thank you. Something I can laugh at, and it's silly.
Many times.
But there's such a great energy between like the four leads in their relationship. It's so good. And I love Kate Walsh,
who is on Hot Wives, and I'm a huge fan of hers, and I
She's
adore
so funny
her.
too.
And she was hilarious. That there was one part in particular that had us rolling. Like everyone is so funny and so good, and the men are gorgeous.
It's really everything to me, and I'm upset I wasn't in it, and I will be hunting down a role in the sequel.
Oh yes, because there will be a sequel,
and probably starting a campaign and asking for your help.
It was again. It's everything. Please go. You won't be upset you did.
Now, look, before we talk about Housewives, we're in a place of recommending some things that we're both consuming, and we thought we'd just go through a few other things.
Yes.
So that's Girls Trip. Obviously, that's a must. I'm reading a book called Hunger by Roxane Gay, who is a feminist, and the book is about, she's a self-described, I would say, obese woman, and it's about her struggle with how just society is so cruel to people who are overweight. And it's a memoir of body, but then on the cover it says of, and in parentheses it says my body. And it is so powerful. And I hate when people say things are powerful. It's so stupid, but it really is.
Really?
I was reading it on vacation. It's like for anyone who's ever struggled with just weight and their past and demons, it's really pretty amazing.
I heard her talking about it on NPR.
Sure.
Guys. And sometimes I dabble.
Yeah.
And in the higher arts and cultures.
Just dip a toe in.
Just a tipper a toe.
The dark arts.
And I heard her speaking, and I was fascinated by it, and I would like to read it.
It's really, really good. And then the last recommend, my sister-in-law, who would like us to make a plea. She's off Braxton Family Values. Well, she's not off it, but
no, but she's had us to watch it.
But she's moved on to a new show that I haven't seen, but I plan on. It's literally like the treat that's getting me through the idea of breastfeeding. The reality show,
simply labeled High Society,
and Dale
is a cast member, which is exciting because we have only seen her in kind of like, drips and drabbles, and I'd like to see the full force of Dale.
Shira said it's...
Do we know circa what year it is?
I'm sure it's around when Tinsley was,
So it's going to be like circa like Gossip Girl. Wow.
Yeah.
And then I've been reading a book. I'm a mere 15 pages in, but I'm
really going out on a limb to recommend it.
No, it's called The Book of Joy, Desmond Tutu. Okay.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Bishop
I love
Desmond Tutu, but it is about like this meeting that they had where they just did like basically a conference, the two of them, on happiness for a week. It's fascinating, and it just kind of like when times are dark right now and it feels like, oh God, everything just feels so heavy, or when you're going through something, it's just how to find your life all the time and like not looking outside, but looking inside. And I know we're all constantly looking for that, but just a little bit of reminder.
And is it making you feel better?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Oh, Lord.
For 15 pages, I feel like you forget sometimes.
Okay.
It's also made me think like I should go back to meditation. But yeah, it's just not being upset about the things that upset us day to day. Finding joy, not acknowledging that bad things don't happen or that they're bad outside, all of that great stuff.
Wow. Well, this has sparked me just 2 quick podcasts that I listened to that I loved, specific episodes. One is, and this was like, this won like all these awards for like best podcast. And it's this podcast called Love and Radio. And there's a specific episode, you have to go into the feed. It's called The Living Room. But it is the best piece of, I mean, of course it can't compete with our Housewives recaps.
No, please.
Done.
Obviously take our Housewives recap out of like the award winning, like we all know that's the top.
Yeah. Sure. It is the most beautiful story about a woman living in New York City who can see into her neighbor's apartment and watches this couple's lives unfold and what she thinks about them from the beginning to what she witnesses happen in their living room. It is so intense. Beautiful and sad.
Is it a true story?
It's a true story.
Wow. Okay.
It's the best piece of piece of audio I've ever heard.
Again, not putting us in that.
No, God, no.
Yes,
and then we've both been listening to Dear Sugar, which is the advice column podcast. Oprah is on there, part 1 and 2.
I listened to those, like I drank them down like sugar.
Yeah, it's Oprah doing, what do they call it?
Power of No.
Power of No.
And that was eye-opening too. And I felt like it related to Bethenny tonight. In a strange way. And we can talk about that, but like what she kind of talks about and intention and things like that, was, I thought about that while Bethenny was talking and saying like what she does and what she says and like how people treat her. It was interesting.
Very interesting. I mean, guys, we just thought we'd recommend a few things.
I mean, again, these are things we're enjoying. And if you like the Housewives and we like the Housewives and you like these podcasts and we like these podcasts, then we can hang out.
Yes.
Talk more.
Should we take a quick break?
Yes, please.
We're back. Now, Danielle, your father has sent us a boot on the ground.
You know, again, my father does not watch The Housewives. Never seen an episode. Listens to every episode of our podcast. Though he says he's run out of bandwidth and has to wait till the end of the month too. Like he's run out of like he has a plan. And then I guess you run out of minutes on that plan.
Oh, I thought you meant emotional bandwidth to listen to us. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. I was like,
my father listens to me every day. He has the emotional bandwidth of a monk.
I was like, you know what? I get that. And I think a lot of listeners are feeling that way.
Well, again, feel free to feel that way. No.
Oh, they are.
The literal bandwidth. Like he doesn't have enough hours left.
Data.
So he's told me that he can't listen to the rest of ours this month, but he'll be checking back in when his plan re-ups.
When his plan allows.
So I'm like, Dad, just get more. He's like, no. He refuses to get more. But anyway, listens to every episode. So he knows the players. He just doesn't know the game. But he enjoys, as he says, listening to you girls talk.
Great.
Which is very sweet. So my father... This is the boot on the ground. And he said, literally his, in the subject area, it says, boots on the ground, which is very sweet. He said, Open House, ? Which I believe is a show, had an Atlanta segment where Candy Tucker's, another ? house was on display. Does she get paid by housewives? This was my father's. So at first he calls her Candy Tucker.
Which is respectful and Southern.
Yes.
To give her Todd's last name.
Exactly. Like, no one has ever called her Candy Tucker ever.
Ever.
My father was like, you get your husband's name.
He's like, I call them all Candy Tucker.
Yeah, I call you by your married name, too.
I love that.
As you are a belonging of your husband.
He's a gorgeous Southern man.
Yes.
Now, so it's not so much, if I may, a boot on the ground as more he saw what a lot of the public must have seen.
He turned onto a show called Open House, where I guess they were like doing an Atlanta section about. So it was more just like, hey, I saw something on TV that maybe you could appreciate. So less boot and more sort of like eyes on the TV.
More like, Did you see this?
Yes. Did you happen to catch this? I did not, but...
Now, his question, though, is
does she get paid by housewives? And I don't know if it's a general question. Like, yes, she gets paid. Maybe he's wondering, like, God, her house was so big. Does housewives pay? Like, maybe he can't imagine that the show pays.
Well, he might not know the breadth of Candace Tucker's career.
Well, I explained it to him. I was like, oh, you don't know, Dad. She wrote Scrubs.
Yeah.
And he's like...
She don't want none.
It's like, I don't know what that is. The Zach Braff TV show?
He's like, was Tucker involved in that, Mr. Tucker?
Was Mr. Tucker? But he didn't sort of understand about housewives. Like, is housewives paying her enough to afford this house? I think was his big question. And I had to set him straight. But it's very sweet that he had a boot on the ground and that he knows what that is and that he tried to contribute. And
he tried. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
And I'm sorry we can't answer his question.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We can't. There are no answers.
And there was no question.
Yeah.
So I think we've closed it out right, but
yeah.
I very much appreciate the email.
Yeah, we just appreciated the information that was brought to us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Dad.
I love hearing from everyone, I have to say, and I'm so bummed that the Facebook group isn't like as alive and well as it was, because it was just a great way to hear kind of like what everyone's...
Someone tweeted right at me like today, like, were you drunk on the show last week?
Well, you're always going to get some rogue comments.
They were like, people are talking that you were drunk on the show. I think you have Invisalign. I was like, what?
What?
Neither is true.
Neither.
Thank you for
you don't
your
even
feedback.
drink.
I know. Well, I do a little, but occasionally, but I appreciate the feedback.
Well, I got a tweet, and it really was one of the funniest tweets I've seen about the Housewives. I was going to tell it for Orange. He wrote and said, "Don't you think Kelly Dodd's mom looks like Jerry Blanks?" His character on
Strangers with Candy.
And
it was profound because
it's profound. And it's a tough comment, but it's profound.
Yeah, it was just like, yes. The answer is yes.
Nothing's ever been so right.
Yeah, so perfectly said. And it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Characters. And I love Kelly's mom.
I do too. Shall we get into Housewives?
Yes,
I mean, we seem to be here. Should we start with
Orange County this week? Now, we open up with Shannon and Tamara talking at the house. I've heard
Tamara's house.
No, wasn't it Shannon's?
No, it was Tamara. Shannon like lumbering up.
You're right. Okay.
And when I say lumbering, that's not me putting that on like a weight thing. Yeah. I felt that was doing her dirty.
Yeah.
They're doing her dirty.
They are doing her very dirty.
Laughing because I'm enraged by all of this, the way that fucking trainer was treating her. But they do her so dirty with the freeze frame that they have for the episode. It's like there's a new puppet master, and it's a picture of her in the car with Sophie driving.
Yeah.
It's a very, very thoughtless freeze frame.
They've been cruel with her this season.
And I know, and I see her. She's looked...
She's obviously like lost some of the weight since the season or whatever that she's talked about. Her face looks so thin, and I don't know why that upsets me. Like, just in that real public way, like to congratulate her for I just want Shannon to be happy. That's all I want.
I'm just turned on her, and I fell asleep during her speech.
As did I. It was at the end of the episode.
Yes, this was today, in the middle of the day. I just fell asleep.
At around 9 o'clock, I settled into the episode with Shannon and I.
You mean Tamara?
Tamara, and I fell asleep at her when she was talking about that, thing for like, you see me trail off in my notes.
It was like second.
It was like for people who have lost their kids.
Vanished family.
Yeah, like their kids are still alive, but their kids are basically no longer speaking to them.
Beautiful organization, I'm sure. I just felt like I don't need to see Tamara make another tearful speech with that limp-ass, long-ass hair.
Yeah. No, I just wasn't... I am sure that her family
She must cut that hair.
I'm just not that interested with her anymore. I think I've done my time with Tamara.
I've
done my time, and I'm ready to... She's not adding anything, and I don't mean like screaming. Like, I don't care if she could be screaming, she could be whispering. I'm done.
I'm ready to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think... Matt on the podcast last week, McConkey said that he felt like Ramona is done. And I was shocked by that. But Tamara, again, she's not an OG, but she is,
Well, of course, blessings and salutations to Matt, but I think Ramona's going to do us like Vicky.
Yeah, I think that's how I feel. But I do think I'm done. I'm done with her.
Yeah.
I've had peace with her.
Now, that one scene with her and her son, I will say I had the most compassion for him I've had. As you know, I'm not a fan of Tamara's son.
No, you have said he is a serial killer and we should all be alarmed and we should all arm ourselves, barricade the houses.
I said that once.
Get a gun.
That was a reflection of what I was going through in my life. Maybe he scares me, but
yes.
And I don't think we're safe.
It's only been, 7 years since that time has passed? About 7.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's had some medical issues. He had some medical issues in the last few years where he was, well, not issues. He was addicted to steroids.
Oh, God, I forgot.
Steroids are like...
I mean, it tracks.
I'm making this up.
It tracks.
He looks so unhealthy and so kid.
I know. And when they flashed back to that, I really was like, fuck you, Simon. Flashing back and he's getting truly broke. Like, you're a terrible person.
Simon was
when you marry someone and you take on their kids, how dare you get a tattoo of
me sick. It made me sick.
I really felt for him.
Me too.
He was so nasty too. Whatever. Tamara's son name is.
That's why he was like, I didn't understand why he would thank him for anything. Just to let him see,
That's
yes. I'm sure that he was awful, but he's your kid.
Yeah, it was really dark.
And I did feel food. And now he's just got a big red puby beard and he doesn't look healthy. He looks pale and sickly and I don't know. Wasn't great.
Okay. Lydia's tagline with those orangutan arms. Yes. You can't take my sparkle, stay off my rainbow. Is so disgusting.
I dislike Lydia. I don't understand why they brought her back. It's still not making any sense to me.
I love, so it's back to what you were saying. They're at Tamara's house. We've got Shannon and just them flashing back Tamara. It was just so great. Tamara's like, you want to talk about what happened the other night? Are you okay? And they just cut to Shannon going, right between the lines, you fucking bitch. I was like, ooh. And then the best was that I love that Shannon's whole thing is are you serious? She's like, yeah. Kelly's here. She was so shocked that Kelly came into A Quiet Woman. It's like, yeah, you're on a reality show together. And then Kelly says to her husband this week, she goes, I knew it was just a matter of time before I saw Shannon. I mean, we live in the same neighborhood. You're on a reality show together.
It's them all trying to talk around the fourth wall, but it is the fourth wall just comes at them. You're going to see each other because you're on the same show.
Yeah.
So you have to.
She's like, I was just very taken aback when I saw Kelly Dodd walk in.
And here's the thing I don't understand about Kelly Dodd. I never want to be anywhere where I'm not wanted. I fly out of a place where I'm not wanted. In fact, sometimes I like to leave places I am wanted because just in case they decide not to want me soon. I leave before anyone, I get there and I'm like, see you later.
Yes.
I never want any.
Because you have dignity.
Yes. And I don't understand the instinct of being they don't want me there, so that's where I'm going to be. And that is Kelly's whole MO. And I know she's on the show and she's looking for airtime, and I get that, but just to come in they don't want me, so I'm going to stay. I'm going to sit down at this table and confront it head on.
She's also a terrible drunk. I mean, that's at play.
Yeah.
Between her and Dorinda, we've got Sonja, it's some
real liver damage happening on these shows that needs to be addressed. That no one's talking about. I mean, we are constantly.
And I hope it's never addressed.
No, but...
No, I hope it is.
And then we got treated to something that we talk about all the time on both the podcast and we talk about just in our daily lives is Lydia's mother and Brianna's husband. That was just... And I laughed.
Flashback to the Winter Wonderland.
Yes. And because we talk about that nonstop. We... touchdown.
And I feel it's never given enough weight of what happened there with Ryan, Brianna's husband. And we finally got a flashback.
Which was nice because I felt validated. This was huge. Why are we not still talking about it?
Did I make that up? And I had forgotten the one time I found Brianna to be nasty was actually at the reunion when she was saying that she had to scrub the couch because of Lydia's mom's dirty feet. I mean, that's nasty. It's so strange.
So mean.
So mean. I have to say, so Lydia's mom, Mama Joyce too.
Yes.
Mama Joyce redo, as I call her. this fairy dust thing, it's like Lydia looked insane. She had just like fairy dust stained all over her forehead.
Exactly. I don't know. That woman is not for me. That whole family is not for me.
They're very odd.
Yeah.
And Lydia's brother came with a lot of swagger.
Oh, a lot of swagger.
Like, I got a story about Lydia.
I felt that there was
sexual chemistry. Yes! 100%. It was electric.
I mean, it's the most chemistry I've seen on this show since Brooks and Vicky.
Ill-fated pairs.
I mean, none of these pairs should be together, of course, but do I feel something?
No, and if anything, Doug, Lydia's husband, seems like a really nice ballast, like a brother.
Yes. Oh, completely.
And then when I saw her real brother come in, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and then between them, something. I was like, I got... like
sparks were flying.
Yes. I felt them. I mean, I don't want to recommend that they get together because that's illegal, but...
the heart wants.
The heart wants what the heart wants. I mean, I'm not... In Game of Thrones, when a brother and sister make love, do I enjoy it? Yes, I do.
Well, that's a hot couple.
Well, so is this.
I watch Game of Thrones with my husband, but I do work while it's on. But every time those two pop up, he's like, stop craning your neck to see the brother and sister fucking.
It's one of my favorite parts of the show. It is super hot.
Okay. Let's talk about Peggy for a second.
Yeah.
Peggy is a woman, she's a riddle wrapped in...
There's nothing else. And a bunch of cars.
Yeah, wrapped in cars. Okay, her hair is always quite askew. Mm-hmm. And she seems like she's underwater. Like, she talks very, like, I can't get at her. She's kind of very slow. And she seems very nice, but I just can't, there's no, like, there with Peggy. I can't get at her.
I don't know what
she is now. Deko! I love Deko.
Deko in his garage, I know we talk about this all the time on the podcast, is my dislike of cars and car people. And so Deko has a stain on him for me. And just when Vicky drives in, he's like, oh yes, these need the wheels. We definitely need the wheels. How do you know who gives a fuck?
Look, I did some digging in Deko as a Trump supporter, but I think Deko's making America great again. I like Deko. He seems so devoted to Peggy. Mm-hmm. And I did think, like, that was a little mini roller coaster of a conversation Peggy and Vicky went on when they met, where Vicky was as genuine as I've almost ever seen her, and sweet, but then very rude too. She was like, I'm not going to start researching her cancer and stop being public about it.
Here was the fact that Vicky's lesson from what happened with Brooks lying about cancer and her supporting that was like, you can't talk about cancer on these shows. I mean, I learned my lesson. It's like, that is not the lesson, Vicky.
She's like,
you can't lie about cancer, not talk about it.
Keep your cancer struggles to yourself.
It's like
Peggy's struggling. Brooks
is real. This is
lying.
a real thing. That, just the fact that, like, we all know, we all learned that lesson.
And it's such a perfect pairing for Vicky to now get to kind of be there for someone who is, and doesn't have cancer, but of course has taken these major, beautiful steps to,
because she knows that it runs in her family and they have seen signs. So she's like, I want to be alive, and so I'm going to do this.
And for Vicky to be like, I'm there for you in a heartbeat. It was like Vicky was like, bingo.
Oh yeah, she saw just a target on her head.
I love when Vicky was over the house. She was like, basically like, sue me. I like nice people.
This was her quote exactly. After my situation with Brooks, I feel like health issues should be kept private. I'm not going to start looking for records. It's like,
it's like, whoa.
Vicky, you're the worst person ever.
And then we go to a little place called Cosmetic Care, which had the same slogan as Men's Warehouse. It said, love the way you look.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that. Yeah. You're going to love the way you look.
Cosmetic Care, where Vicky accompanies Kelly Dodd to a vagina tightening.
I cannot see one more fucking
I can't watch those, like,
tightening.
Freezing, things where they're up to their neck. Yes. I can't watch this. It used to be the spray tans, then it was escape rooms. Now it's vagina tightening.
New things to do. I'd rather see you sit at a restaurant. This can't be the thing I watch you do. No more.
So disgusting. Vicky's quote was, I don't want to see anything. I'm not going to see anything, and I don't want to smell anything of Kelly's vagina. I mean, we are really scraping at the bottom of the barrel.
Vicky, what do you got going on?
Oh no! I was laughing the whole time and enjoying it.
It's not.
Kelly's vagina was literally smoking from the electrical.
She's like, I smell burning flesh, burning vaginal flesh.
Now they are an interesting pair that I don't hate. hate. And I know no one likes Kelly.
Which they're both whoop it up girls.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly's life is a tragedy.
Well, when she said something very telling, which is like,
tragedy of
Michael
errors.
doesn't even look at me that way.
With the dog on the bed, having a laugh. He seems like a nice guy.
He does. But I also see that he could be but the fact that like Kelly is beautiful. Like she's a monster, but I think she is very attractive. She's a sexy woman. Obviously, like maybe he's judging her from the inside and not the outside.
I think he thinks she's a terrible person. That's why he's not.
But then why still be in this relationship with her? He could have gotten out. She was literally out of the relationship. So if he doesn't look at her.
They have a daughter and they're just like trapped with Billy Blanks in that house.
Jerry Blank? Billy Blanks! His brother and sister.
Real? Oh, I heard about this workout.
Yeah, so that's
in the valley?
Like, yes. I take this workout class with Jerry Blanks' brother. Jerry Blanks' brother. Anyway, they're not living with Billy Blanks. They're living with Jerry Blank.
Wow.
And I just don't understand why acted to her if she hates him just for their daughter. I don't know if that seems enough to me.
They seem to have laughs every time I see them.
I know. They really
get along
do.
better than the Medors.
No one enjoys them more than they enjoy them. Likes them.
And we didn't even see Meghan King Edmonds, so like 45 minutes.
I was like, Meghan, like it was shocking to see her.
And we find out that Kelly had like sent her a text that said your husband's cheating on you while she was 7 months pregnant.
And then to act
like, hey girl,
to not even address it.
I hate Meghan so much. And when she opened the scene by saying like, ugh, I'm down another size.
I know. I thought of you when she was saying this just because I thought it was
dropping weight. She's like, I keep dropping this pregnancy weight. And then she's like, is the baby sleeping? And her cousin was like a lamb. She wouldn't
say that. How is that true? Like what?
She's just got the genetics. And she's young.
I know, but it's like I keep dropping. I can't keep weight.
I'm in a pregnant ladies swim class, which was actually so much fun. And with some women and actresses out here, I love being pregnant. And I'm just looking around like, what are you like unicorns? And this one girl crying because she goes, I just think it's so meaningful that all our babies are underwater together. And I'm like, I'm in hell.
Is it their first or second?
It's their first.
Well, that's some of it. Because, you know, when you
and they're lovely with
toddler, it is a different...
Am I running?
When you are tiptoeing after a toddler, when you are trying to keep up with a toddler.
When I'm making every game come lie on the couch with me.
I don't have a second, but I believe that, like, if I had to, like, be pregnant right now with running after even a 4-year-old.
Help with it.
Neither one of them.
Neither blanks.
But yeah, it's really frustrating when she says things. I caught that too, and I was like, God damn it, girl.
So annoying.
And also, like, don't be tone deaf.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's who she is.
She's a tone deaf human being, but to be
she's
like,
very
I can't
on brand
keep my
for
weight
her.
on.
I know. What else? I don't.
There was.
I'm also over the driving with your underage like teen trope.
And especially Shannon. I mean, I know that they love to see Shannon be hysterical because Shannon is hysterical.
She is hysterical.
But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't need this. Oh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What happened with Tamara's daughter, Sydney? Do we know? Like, she just went to her father and just said enough? Like, did something go down?
I don't think we know, but I think essentially from what it sounds like, I believe Sydney and her brother are twins. And it sounds like in the divorce, like the son went with Tamara and the daughter went with Simon. And that I'm sure they were both kind of, I don't want to say like, I don't know, but like poisoning their kids' heads against each other. And like Simon and Tamara were in such like,
bad place
and like in court. And then it seems like the daughter sided with her dad and the son sided with his mom.
But don't you have to like see your mom as long as there's not like, and I don't know the laws of, but like at some point, don't you have to see your kid? Like, and isn't it forced? Like you can't.
Well, they went to court, so maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just am like, why doesn't she want to see her? Like, and shouldn't the courts force her to? Like, you know, like that you should have to see your mom. You shouldn't be able to get
said about Tamara. I was happy to hear that she and Simon are communicating and like doing better
from the graduation and all that. That you know, get kids near her and all that stuff. happy to have that.
Yeah, but I don't really know what happened beyond that. But I'm sure Simon was thinking about Tamara.
He was the worst. We talk about the worst husbands, and he takes the fucking
Jim Bellino over him any day.
Any day.
I'll take what's the guy's
PK?
I'll take a PK.
Any day of the week.
What was the guy's name? Also,
Marchese.
Jim Marchese.
Marchese.
I don't know if I could take a Marchese over.
We were all sitting there years ago, that episode where she was like, I fucking hate you. I want a divorce.
Yep.
And we were all just like, oh. And he's a psychopath for sure.
Yeah. Well, should we take a break?
Yeah. You know Issa Rae from her hit HBO series Insecure. Now the first season of her acclaimed podcast Fruit is available for free. This gripping audio drama tells the story of X. He's an African-American pro football player on a journey of self-discovery and sexual exploration. Written and directed by Issa Rae, the Sarah Award says Fruit raises the bar on what is possible in audio fiction. Listen to all of Fruit Season 1 now on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Hear more of the story with Season 2 on Stitcher Premium. Just go to stitcherpremium.com/fruit. So New York, this was a wild ride of an episode. It was highs and lows, high highs, low lows.
Lows for them personally. For me, it was all highs.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, we knew that the drinking, because last week's episode, everyone was loving each other. It was pure happiness. Everyone had sort of felt like a makeup of sorts. But then the sun went down, and we knew that we were in for something, for it to get dark emotionally and literally.
Yeah.
And we start off with everyone challenging, like last week, like challenging Ramona to feel pain of her marriage breaking up.
And demanding that she reveal she's deeply unhappy.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know what to tell you, I'm happy. And they're like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
I actually don't give Ramona enough credit. I don't think she has the emotional depth to be like deeply unhappy. Now, obviously I know what happened with Mario. I'm sure she was devastated, but like she seems crazy and I'm sure she's a little unhappy. But
yeah, she doesn't have enough self-examination to be like, where am I at?
She's not self-actualized enough to say like, I'm suffering. You know, she's just, it's all out there.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a gift. You know,
I'd love to walk around.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like to not know what's in your brain and the depth of your misery is a gift.
Beautiful.
Again, as the Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu probably say at some point in the book, find your own happiness.
I love that you were like, I want to recommend something that I am 15 pages into.
I know it's going to be a good book because it was written by such wonderful.
But you know what? That's one of those books, genuinely just buying it is going to give you the lift of reading it.
Just telling people that you're reading it gives you the superiority.
Now I see why you wanted
superiority complex to be like, I'm finding my bliss.
Yeah.
I'm finding my bliss.
It's like when I wear workout clothes or I carry a journal or I carry like one of those like Camelback water bottles.
Yes. You're like, I drink so much water in a day and this is a gift to myself.
So much that I need like to have a bottle with me.
Yeah. Like I can't go away from my bottle.
When I see people carrying those and I have one, I want to drop kick them.
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you carry around water bottles?
I'm like, how dare you care for yourself? I know.
I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that people that...
I'm frustrated by people who have such intense, like, self-care regimes.
Oh, yes. Or just like a vitamin regimen.
You are?
I'm frustrated by people with a vitamin regimen. How dare you?
Good luck.
Or...
Again, I drink one every day, but fuck those people.
Fuck you.
I know.
I'm angry. When I see someone with a green juice...
I Postmates one.
I
felt shame.
I have... great resentment for people that order fruit for dessert. You've never had someone order a fruit plate for dessert in front of your eyes?
No, I don't think they would dare in front of me.
It's happened.
He's probably like so sick off my runoff bunch of crunch.
A place where many times where people have ordered a fruit plate for dinner.
We're just sounding off. I'm going to sound off on something totally.
Oh, you love just. And
I don't want to hear about that.
I don't want to hear about it, guys. I hear myself. Don't tell me I heard it. But I'm sure they have something.
I was going to say what also really, really annoys me is when friends have planned a girls' night and someone just brings their husband.
It's when you've made a play date with a play date with and the mom, and somehow they send the father.
No, thank you.
No, we don't want the father.
No.
We don't want him. I don't want to hang out with him.
Nope.
Talking about our bliss and following our bliss. Okay, sorry. Back to New York.
Where I have like a lot of other things in the hopper, but I'm going to just move on right now. Okay. Floppy. The women, Sonja literally trying to like
make out.
Suck on Luann's titties.
Yeah, to say quite frankly. She was making out with her. She
then trying to make out with Bethenny, grabbing Bethany's ass. It was so sloppy. Sonja was so drunk. They're having a
glass of water at some point.
Of course the picture had Skinny Girl logo on it.
Of course it did.
And then seeing Bethenny get like jumping, like it's the ultimate like we're having so much fun. Like we're really doing it.
But then she's crying. Pool noodle. Wow.
It was like that Seinfeld where he's like, there's good naked and bad. Like seeing someone crouching, fixing a
bad naked. And again, we didn't even see it at this point, but we just know
we're not
she's
body shaming. Just
no, I don't want any. I don't care. You could, and she does have an amazing body, but like,
crying naked.
Crying naked is a tough. Many times.
Oh yeah.
Crying naked, and it is not what anyone else should see.
Nope.
Because everything
or tenses.
Like it's just a lot of.
That scene between her and Ramona, we have to do it at some point because it was so good.
We have to perform it because there was just a point where Ramona.
Do you think Ramona was putting it on? I don't think so.
It's hard to tell with
right?
Ramona sometimes, but it felt real. As real as Ramona ever. Bad? I don't know. Am I bad?
Am I evil?
And it's like, yeah. I do think Ramona. I think she is the scorpion, and she'll always be the scorpion.
And Bethenny said, like, I don't think anyone's like evil, but I was like, I don't know. Ramona may like sometimes love Bethenny, and I find her way too harsh. But I don't think she's a bad person.
Neither do I. I think Ramona is a bad person. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's anything she can do about it, even at her back, for the bad person that is inside her, that she will eventually let out. She will strike.
Leave the franchise.
Exactly.
But that was it was just mayhem. And then what was so interesting, Dorinda holding it together was surprising, given how much. But then when Dorinda arrives at dinner mysteriously and more hammered than she's been the whole day.
Was she drinking in her room?
She took something. Something was going on.
To stab your own hand?
Was she trying to stab herself?
No, I think she was trying to stab the table, like angrily.
I think she might have been trying to like
Wow, then she's even more fucked up.
I think so. I don't know. I'm curious what people think about that. Non-slurring that she's doing. It was really funny when Tinsley and Bethenny were like orchestrating her. Oh yeah, Bethenny.
And that like that clip thing. Clipping. 1 second though, just because like when Sonja was making out with Bethenny, she was like, so gross.
So creepy. I had to turn away so many times.
I did too. I literally had to turn away.
But I kept turning away to my window function. I couldn't hide from them.
It's on both sides of you. But yeah, Dorinda, again, she is one of my favorite housewives, but something is wrong.
Yeah.
I would say. Probably.
I genuinely were. And kind of was weird to me that like maybe she said it and they just didn't put it on because it's too dark. But like the next morning... It is crazy to attack your friend's success. Like, it does seem like that's on the tip of your tongue, like you real issue.
I know. She's like, I don't mean it. I'm not jealous of people's success. But I was like, it felt like either you were jealous or you were trying that upsets Bethenny. Either way, it's really low blows.
It's really low, and I do feel for Bethenny. This is not a great look. No. It's like, your friend has provided a great day. And what really I did feel bummed out by, again, Bethenny really annoys me. But she'd had a great day. Yeah. And I feel like she was actually letting it. And Dorinda did ruin it. She did. Stabbed herself at dinner. And like, you with your skinny girl. It's like, here's the thing. Here's what I don't think they're jealous of her success. They know how much it means to Bethenny. And that's what they're needling at. But it's still just.
Self-enjoy anything. You know, she is not a woman who feels happiness and relaxation and joy a lot. She is... drivenness in so many ways that to have
like she needs a little book
called what's the name of it?
You read it?
I've only read 15 pages.
Path to Happiness.
I'm gonna look it up again.
Oh God,
The Book of Joy, Lasting Happiness. It's terrific. When I read it, I'll let you know. But she is not a woman who lets her felt to ruin it. Is a lot.
I did feel kind of like a bummer. Like right at the end, it got ruined. Mm-hmm. But then the next morning, if I were Dorinda, I really would have woken up with alcohol.
No one on the history of this show has
And all we hear about is Sonja's
that.
drinking. What at least Sonja, that's
and
a
they're
great
not even
time.
yours.
That's great. I love it. Like, it's amazing. Like, she's wearing it.
Wearing her alcoholism beautifully. Gorgeously.
But Dorinda, it's like, I would have woken up and just been...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, completely. It's
You know what tune is coming to me is a end of intervention. It's like 5, 7. Oh yeah, it comes on and I'm always like, please, 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 let them have stayed clean. And then
They
they're
never
so
do.
quickly, and it happens so abrupt. It's like they're back into like commercials, and you're like, I'm fucking reeling.
I had to stop watching it because no one. It was
too painful.
It was too painful because I got involved in their story, and then I would see them clean, and they would look so happy, and I would see them with their kid, and I would rehab, and 3 days later they were found on MES-SY. It's just like
it's too dark. I know.
Anyway. And hopefully, but no. And also I feel because Bethenny had just gone through that with Ramona. So she kind of got like a double slam of it. I don't know why I'm attacking your job and your career. And then, but like, I'm sorry and I apologize. And then here comes Dorinda attacking it. And it just felt like, again, Bethenny annoys me. The skinny girl stuff is like a little too much. But these are supposed to be her friends, I want to say.
I mean, they're not, but...
Again, I don't know what
Luann was right when Luann was like, I'm a fun drunk. It was like, oh, yeah, you are.
She is. Again, I'm still living in the 2 weeks ago's joys with Luann.
I'm still in the bushes with her.
Still in my bliss with Luann. She can do no wrong. Even when she started talking about Palm Beach tonight, I mean, I can
Tinsley, that was just very sad. And then Tinsley, like the last night, was like, well, I guess it's my turn to just get as drunk as could be and start ranting about Palm Beach and this disgusting, gross, like social strata.
Who cares? Again, though I will say, I'm going to say that Luann does say Palm Beach in a way that is like, well, Palm Beach.
Look, of course she does. She's the most annoying person in the world. But for that to be your argument and to take some kind of hierarchical, like, it's really gross.
Yes. Again, I will say, just going to backtrack a little bit. As a person from Florida, Palm Beach is a different world than West Palm Beach. It is. Now, West Palm Beach, it's not like like West Palm Beach, like that's where I live. It's like where normal people have nice lives. And
I get that Luann is, of course, inflating where she's going.
And so the fact that she says Palm Beach,
but that's Luann in a nutshell. This is the Countess, a woman that we were introduced to as the Countess.
Yes. But so for Tinsley to call, she thought she had something. I don't give a shit. It's like, you're not really in Palm Beach or West Palm Beach. I don't care. But at the same time, it is funny for Luann to call it Palm Beach.
Yeah.
When I assumed, when she said Palm Beach, I thought she meant that side of the like intercoastal, where it's like, I wouldn't be accepted. They have like country clubs that still like don't let in Jews. Like it's a weird, it's like Trump, Tower, or not Trump Tower, but it's like Mar-a-Lago or whatever. It's like, it's a old money. And
that is Luann in a nutshell.
Oh, it's a nutshell. But to make it that your thing, I mean, Tinsley can't make anything her thing.
No, she can't.
And that's the real.
And the biggest revelation to me of this entire episode is that next week is the finale.
It has flown. Is it a shorter season?
It must be a shorter season. Now I'm like, is Bethenny trying to cut us off because of her real estate show with Frederick?
I thought that too.
I feel like this is about Bethenny's literal real estate on television, but she's got 4 other shows. She's on Shark Tank. She's getting on with Frederick. I'm like, did they cut the order?
That's what I was thinking.
I demand to know.
I did too, because last year it felt like it was on year-round. And half the year we were in the Berkshires last year.
And I know we've just done 3 weeks in Mexico, but I'm not ready. Suddenly we're at the thanks for letting me stay with you party.
I know.
That classic party everyone throws.
The minute they said that, we're like, well, that's what we're all heading to. Now, you did say that this season had nothing for us. And where do you feel on that?
Did I?
Yes, you did, Casey.
I was wrong, guys. I'm not a psychic.
You're not a soothsayer?
No, I just, I call them like I see them, and I feel like, and maybe this was like, I don't know, calculated on Bravo's part. They held back some stuff in the preview. I can only go on the preview. And
like the Orange County preview gave us so much to contend with that we knew.
We were waiting
with bated breath, going like, what
new is this? Storylines.
And some.
In fact, And I was wrong.
And
I was wrong.
And how does that feel?
Like Bethenny and Ramona in the pool is like a therapy session. It doesn't feel good.
Do you want to get naked?
Yeah.
And cry?
It doesn't feel good to be wrong, but at the same time, I can admit that I was.
Unlike Dorinda, you can admit that you were wrong.
It had a lot, and in fact, I want more.
I think we can leave on that note.
Yeah. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Ian, for stepping in tonight.
Ian Durney, what a pleasure to have you.
And thanks, Luz.
And July and everyone at Earwolf.
Everyone. And we'll see you next week. April, welcome back from your vacation. And
thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, Casey. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman, Chris Bannon, and Colin Anderson. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.